Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back with a third video, and this part, I'm going to be talking about some new balancing changes and some extra little goodies. I'm gonna start with the bounty store since a lot of you actually wanted the bounty store. So let's talk about it, shall we? The bounty store is gonna come back, and this time it's gonna have 3 different skins rotating, and every single day, one of them will change. So basically they have a 3-day period, but they're desynced in order to each one of them leaves the store in a different day, which gives more room for you guys to get more skins. And not just that, but there's a 4th skin that apparently only if you have an event pass or crossover pass, you'll have it unlocked. So this is the skin for Eevee that if you've seen the previous video that I mentioned, I can show you here real quick as well which one it is. If you've seen the Eevee skin, that should be down. Yeah, if you've seen this skin right here, it's going to be there, but it's going to be locked. So you need to buy the crossover event pass to be able to get it. All right, so yeah. They also mentioned about something about changing the amount of bounty coins. So I'm guessing that people that abused too much of glitches and so on are not going to be very happy, because I think that they normalized it to the max being 1,000. So if you had more than 1,000, I think you're going to lose them. I'm not actually sure. I'm probably gonna go check out my account after this. I don't know how many I even have. I don't think I have 1,000. No. I didn't buy a lot of skins either, so I'm supposed to have a lot of bounty coins. But either way, that's for the bounty store. But this is not the only thing. No, we have here something that people have been asking for ages, and including streamers like me will be happy to know this. There will be Twitch drops now with the bounty coins as a Twitch drop. So you'll be able to gain 5 bounty coins for every 4 hours of stream viewing. I know that it doesn't look like a lot, but you already have the missions in game, and apparently they're even going to buff that. You're going to be able to get more bounty coins from daily quests by 30. So we multiply the rewards from daily quests by 30. Okay, so I'm guessing that instead of like 3, you get a lot more. Like almost like 10, 30. I don't know what they're on about there. But here's the thing. You're gonna have to have your account linked on Twitch. For doing that, you're gonna have to go to my.hyrisstudios.com. And in there, you're going to use your Hyris account. If you haven't created a Hyris account, this is the time to do it so. Inside of the Hyris account, after you link and just verified everything, you want to go to accounts, linked accounts, and you want to link your platform account, whether you play on PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, Steam, or Epic, and then link your Twitch. From then on, just watching anybody with drops will give you these bounty coins. I'm assuming that a lot of people are going to be AFK, just farming them, but either way, this is what you have to do before you start doing that. This does say that you need to watch Paladin streams on approved streaming channels. I don't know what approved streaming channels is, but I may be wrong here. I think I'm going to be one of the approved ones. Since I am on the stream team, I'm also a partner with them, so I hope I'm in that list, hopefully. But yeah, there you go. Okay, so that's all for that. There's also going to be limited time modes, new limited time modes. One of them is the pick any. You're going to be able to play with any champion, which one you want. This will come after Ray, so everybody's going to be able to play Ray, which is fantastic. If you want to play Ray and, you know, like everybody's insta-locking her, you can just go into this mode. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. There's another one which apparently is Lex versus Anjo. Seems fun. Seems fun. I already talked about these skins on the other video if you guys want to go check it out. All right. Now, okay, so here's a couple of things that were not mentioned on the stream, and these are very, very awesome. One of them is that the bots will no longer purchase items if you disconnect. Like you crashed, the bot will not buy items for you anymore, which is fantastic. Then second of all, there will be a disconnected indicator, so in case people leave or they crash, you'll be able to know they're not there. And third, the legacy VGS, that if you guys are on PC, you have this option, will now have VGS lines that were removed. And this is fantastic. Like, for example, what else? You're welcome. For example, I will defend left or right. I think there's something like, there's a lot of those voice lines that unfortunately are not there. I think there's also sorry. Was it sorry? No, sorry is there. There's a bunch of different ones, okay, that were removed, but a lot of them were essential. So those are going to be back. That's pretty damn cool. And also we'll have now a new thing. When we are on the pre-match lobby, you'll be able to skin preview the full model of a skin in the pre-match lobby. So basically, I think this is on the part where you select the champions. You'll be able to see the skins even if you don't have them, so you know if you want to buy them or not. That, or I think they mentioned something about trying to go third person when we are on spawn. I don't think that's it. This is not it. All right, now we also have 3 ranked bans on each side on ranked, which is fantastic. But it could be very bad to like ban all the support champions. Hopefully that's not going to work. There's going to be split number 2 in case you are not aware. So that's that. And now let's talk about balancing. Genos is going to be a now healer finally, where basically is a 10% increased damage weapon talent is over. No more damage amps. Instead, this talent will now heal more. Like every time you place a mark, everyone who holds a mark already will be healed for an additional 250. So as long as you're putting marks up, you're healing more and more everybody who's already been affected by marks. So having extra duration on marks is very essential for this to work. All right. So now continuing on, Fury now has a change to where Solar Blessing now can be stopped at any given time that you want by repressing the ability. The cooldown will still go down as soon as you send the beam. You just need to press it again to stop it where you want. It heals a little bit less now, but you can also use it as a damage ability in a certain way. You can just stop it right in front of you if you want to block a pathway. You can send it against an enemy and just block it right there. You can set it to the point, stop it there, and maybe your allies will just jump into it, and so on. Nessa also got a little bit of a nerf to her Eagle Eye talent, the one that does more damage on headshots. Instead, now you'll be able to do faster shots, charge faster, and so on, but you'll do less damage, basically. No more damage amps on that. That's pretty good. As for Atlas, there is a little bit of a change here, which is kind of weird for me. I don't know why they did this. I would have just rather have a buff to this talent than this, but okay. Basically, what they did is, the talent that leaves a bomb behind when you do the second chance ability where you rewind yourself. Instead, now it rewinds enemies around you, up to 40 units with you. So you rewind and they rewind. It's almost like a deja vu, but instead of being with your right click, it's with your second chance, which is really weird for me. I don't know why, okay? But hey, maybe they'll just try and stuff. Fernando did have a couple of changes, which this make him a lot less point tanky now and more of an off tank in a certain way. So the Formidable, the talent that would heal him when he was below 40% of his maximum health, and it would only occur every 45 seconds. Now it gives you 2 charges of charge, the ability charge. Charge also deals more damage, and you are CC immune while charging, but the cooldown of charge is increased to 13 seconds. Now, there's a lot of different ways to reduce the cooldown of a charge, so there'll be plenty of different loadouts for this. CC immunity on that, however, that's pretty dope. That's really, really good. Jesus Christ. Aegis now, however, this is the talent that everybody was using to have infinite shields, has been changed. Instead of that, now your shield is actually a resource, not a cooldown ability. So it's con, basically. Con, you can put up the shield down at as much as you want. I know some of you will say that it's Reinhardt from Overwatch. Sure, whatever you want. But in here, you can buff this shield as much as you want as well, and etc. Obviously, don't try to put cooldowns on it. It's not probably going to work on it, so... Okay. Barrack had a huge change. This is actually very, very weird. Barrack now can actually place his turret of the ultimate, no shield around him, with Architectonics, and you only need 35% of your ultimate charge, so it's like an extra cooldown for another turret. It's the fire turret that it's inside of his ultimate. They readjust the values of the damage, but you no longer have the shield around it, so you use it as a damage ability. You're basically like a damage champion in a certain way. You can have 2 active at once and no more. If you put another one, it basically goes down. They have infinite duration unless they get destroyed, obviously. So, yeah. All right, now into items, and this is the most awesome part. A lot of items here got buffed. We got Cauterize being buffed by 5% in every level. That's fantastic. Finally, thank you so much. We got Wrecker also being buffed. This one got buffed a little bit more than that. This got buffed 5% on the first level. It got buffed 10% on the second level and 15% on the third level. So that's actually pretty dope. Bulldozer now also is buffed to do max 75% at the last level. And then we have Resilience, who also got buffed. Thank God, thank the Lord. I love this change. This is probably my most favorite change. They did not change the price, so it's basically a buff. And then Rejuvenate also got buffed a tiny little bit to compensate the Cauterize buff. And now Haven, here's the biggest and most important thing. Haven now does the job of Haven and Blast Shields at the same time. So for everyone out there that did not know the difference between Haven and Blast Shields, you don't have to worry anymore. You can just buy Haven and you'll have protection from both direct shots and area of effect attacks, which means this is going to be an item for every champion, against every champion, which is fantastic. It's very, very, very good. I loved it. Okay, and to compensate the fact that Blast Shields now is gone, they added a new item, Guardian. This item basically increases the effectiveness of shields. So Fernando's new shield, with this, it's much better. Khan's new shield, the Khan's shield, with this, so much better. So you definitely want to look at this card. Now it says cost 300, but I'm assuming it's 300 at the start, then 600 and 900. They probably forgot that. This will not affect any, cards, passive generated shields kind of thingy. Like, for example, I believe Yagura's tail. No, probably that will also be buffed with this. But cards that, in case you go like into a certain amount of HP, you would get a personal shield. Yeah, this is not going to buff that, okay? Veteran, however, received a massive change, a complete rework, and it's actually amazing. It's very, very good. This is very good to stop the burst meta and actually increase a little bit more of a sustained meta in a certain way, while having Cauterize also shutting down the double healer meta at the same time, if I'm getting the stuff here. And then we have Resilience also being buffed to prevent a CC meta, and having Blast Shields fusing together with Haven to also, again, help on the burst meta, reduce it a little bit. So this item now, instead of healing you for extra max HP percentage, whatever, per second when out of combat, it will now increase your base maximum health. So if you're Yagurath with a ton of health and you buy this item, you have more health. It's insane. It's actually pretty damn insane. All right, now on to other challenges, other changes, buffs, nerfs, etc. Atlas's talent for the wall, the big wall. It would increase the status field cooldown by 50%, so it would double it. Now it's going to be 65%, so it's going to be more time. Chronos is even going to be much more, necessary now for this, which means that Atlas is going to be losing a little bit of his point tanky kind of thing there. Then we also have Barrick that got changed a little bit. He got buffed a little bit on his tinkering talent, so the one where it's like one slug shot instead of like a shotgun shot. It'll do more damage now. The card that was healing your turret every 1 second for standing close to it, it got nerfed a tiny little bit from 100 per point to 90. The card that would increase the HP of your turrets also got nerfed to 140 now. And One Man Scrap has also been nerfed finally, but even then, still, I would redo. I would just rather have this out of here, because with this new talent, people are going to be shooting and buying bulldozers, shooting the turrets, etc., which is going to be basically feeding Barrick all the time. I definitely would love to see this actually removed. It got nerfed a tiny little bit, 1% per point, but they definitely look at that. Inara basically got buffed in all different ways. Her heals when standing in Warder's Field got buffed, the card. The card for healing every 1 second when on the Hearthen Guard, right click, got buffed. The card that would enter defensive state while in the state, reduce the damage taken. So basically the ability itself, the Earthen Guard, is now lasting more as well. And the Impes, deploy a rocket wall. This has 5,000 HP. Basically, the wall will have now 14 seconds instead of 15 seconds. Now, looking at the Makoa increased the maximum damage fall-off range from 75 to 80. Basically, so you can do damage and you don't lose it as close as before. You will start losing it 5 units later and not as before. And hitting Yagarath with Dredge Anchor will now play a 1-second stun. Poor Yagarath. Oh well. Alright, let's go into Terminus. Terminus also got kind of nerfed here. His cards pretty much now only work on players, pets, and illusions, no longer in shields. Okay, so basically, for example, the card that would... this one is a different nerf, but it's still a nerf. The card that would reduce the amount of damage necessary for getting a Calamity Blast, it has been nerfed. You will need more to be able to get a Calamity Blast, basically. This year, that would heal you for hitting with the Calamity Blast. It would work on shields. Now it only works on players, pets, and illusions. The card that would also generate Power Siphon by hitting them, you know, with the Massacre Axe, with his main fire, that will no longer work on shields either as well. And then the card that would generate Power Siphon charge for each enemy hit with the Calamity Blast, which is also very, very important, will also only work in players, pets, and illusions. No more in shields. As for Torvald, got kind of buffed and nerfed at the same time here. He got buffed a tiny little bit on his shield, on the personal shield that he can give into people. It gives 650 now instead of 500, but its cooldown is now from 6 seconds to 9 seconds. His Nullify got buffed. It will increase the range. They increase the ranges for 10 units, so you can do it close, like, you don't have to be so close. And it also reduced the cooldown of it, so you're going to be able to do it much more often. It's just 1 second, but it's still pretty good. As for the self-regenerating shield, the recharge, you'll have 2 less seconds on the cooldown of that. You will also deal more damage with your gauntlet. With your normal fire, you'll deal 190 now instead of 180. And also your ultimate will deal 60 per tick instead of 55 on the ultimate, okay? Because that did deal damage, in case you didn't know. As for Yagarath here, she got a couple buffs and nerfs as well. For example, for her Person Quill's acceleration. According to what I can understand here, they have removed the damage amp that you could get to one person if you hit them with the Person Quills and the Caustic Spray at the same time. Everyone on your team could do like 10% extra damage, and I think they removed that entirely, apparently. The Primal Vision, they just did tiny little adjustments here. Basically, the pulses between the time between pulses will be faster. The duration of the Primal Vision, it's also shorter, and also they reduce the duration of how long people get revealed because of this ability. They reduce the duration of it as well. They also increase the range of the effect, like of the acid, but I think it's for basically you have more range with the acid. It's exactly that. Sorry. As for Dredge now heals less with his card of the Harpoons hitting card. Okay, so 10 less per point, so you can heal 50 less than before. So people would go with Hurl, just spamming Harpoons and getting heals. Now we're gonna get a little bit less healing. Imani also does less damage on her Fire Cannon. Instead of 110 per tick, it's now 100. Her Frost Bomb now requires less. They increase the minimum damage on the detonation. So basically, when you throw the Frost Bomb straight away and it would blow up, right on your face, it now does 5% a little bit more damage. And they also decrease the distance, the max distance that it was necessary to do the 800 damage. So you can do the 800 damage closer. You don't have to throw it across the map to do those 800 damage, okay? As for Tiberius, they changed his talent of the Crouching Tiger since nobody was playing it. It does less damage now, but it has 2 charges. Okay, so that's something. The speed that was given by the Combat Trance also got nerfed. Instead of 30%, it's 25% for both the movement and the attack speed. And the card that heals you with Combat Trance has been nerfed a tiny little bit for 5 health per point. As for Tyrant, this is a big nerf. You know that everybody was going with the talent for the 3 different nades, and then they would go with DR on the nades, and they would stack it up. Diminishing returns would not allow it to go above like 50%, but still, now they can only have max 25%, which the card got buffed a tiny bit. You get more DR, but it does not stack, it refreshes. So if you throw another grenade, instead of stacking, you just have 3 new seconds of 25% damage reduction at max. So that's pretty damn good. As for Furia, they basically, again, I mentioned this up there, it heals a little bit less on the Solar Blessing, but it's it's still pretty powerful. 0.05 seconds, 100 per every little tick. You know that's going to be doing a lot. But here's the big nerf, and this is actually very good. The card that was reducing the cooldown of the Pyre Strike when you would heal people, now no longer does that. Instead, it raises speed for you, which is very, very good. You can go all the way to 40% speed for 0.6 seconds. Unfortunately, this is the problem with the card. It's pretty garbage when it comes to duration. But the speed is still very cool. If you keep just spamming heals, you can move a little bit more. Grok, I don't know if you guys noticed this on the server right now. It doesn't have the increased 30% on the 3 totems talent because of a bug apparently on the hotfix. It is supposed to go down to 10%. Right now it doesn't even have anything, but it's going to 10%. And they also increased the cooldowns between totems. Okay, because of the entire little change to the totems cooldowns, this was necessary so that people are not constantly spamming totems after totems after totems. According to also something I heard, the speed on the totems do not stack. They only refresh basically as well. Okay, Grover will no longer be able to target allies with his vine, which is very good for him to run away. I think, yeah, no, Vora is through the enemies, but I still would change it. But maybe not, because like you can still vine to Drogos. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. All right, back to Seris. Seris now has increased the damage per detonation. You know, when she does that Rin Soul, she blows up the orbs she placed on the enemies. But the cooldown has also been increased, which is good because that will be a tiny bit of nerf to the stunned Seris talent. As for the card that would allow her to basically go in shadow travel more often by healing. Every time you would heal, you would reduce the cooldown of the shadow travel. Now it can only happen every 5 seconds. So it has an internal cooldown. Thank the Lord. Ying's Resonance basically talent got buffed. It does more damage. And it increased the speed of the travel of the clones so that they can go to the enemies faster. Koga got buffed a little bit. Does more damage per tick. This is going to be good on console. Lex has been nerfed. His Talent of Discovery now does only 25% extra damage instead of 30 to your target. Maeve got buffed on her Rogue's Gambit, which now she does 15% more damage on her Pounce instead of 10%, and she reduces 2 seconds of the cooldown of Pounce. So you'll be able to reduce the cooldown of the Pounce for every kill, and then also 2 seconds. I'm gonna be honest, as a former Maeve main, this is completely unnecessary. I believe that this was done because most players will not play this because they think the Cat Burglar is much better. You don't really know the value of Rogue's Gambit until you actually started playing it a lot. Alright, any sort of assist, just getting one shot on somebody that's about to die will reduce the cooldown of your Pounce. Having your ultimate up and somebody dying, being affected by it, it will reduce the cooldown of the Pounce. You can be flying all the time. I mean, just ask Techno. He plays this all the time. I play this all the time. It's very, very good. I think this is completely unnecessary. It's going to make Maeve a lot more playable with Rogue's Gambit, I'm not going to lie, but still completely unnecessary. I would have nerfed both Street Justice and Combat Cat Burglar instead. But hey, okay. Moji got buffed. She has more range for her, her spray, her right click. So 5 units, not too much. She also has more speed on her Scamper. And also, she slows down people now when they're transformed by her ultimate. 10%. There you go. All right, they also buffed a little bit on Vatu. Vatu now, it's a very, very tiny little change, but it's basically for his ambush to be able to be done faster. The animation is faster, basically. Vora got buffed and nerfed at the same time. This is going to be happy for some people and bad for others. But basically, her Obliteration lock time after she slams, the lockdown time is a lot less than before, which is very, very good to you to run away. But the ultimate, however, will only give you 60% of speed now instead of 80%, and it will cost you 50% every time you activate it instead of 30%. Either way, you can still build this ultimate so fast that I think that this, you know, it's fair. It's very fair. All right, as for bug fixes, I could go here, but you guys can just go in the patch notes. I just wanted to roll down through all of this and explain as much as possible, and also give my tiny little bit touch of, you know, of thought to it. So there you go. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this, of these, you know, nerfs, buffs, and what is the change that actually makes you the most happy. I know that the Fury changes are very good. I still want to see Exterminate nerf, but Resilience being nerfed, it kind of already does that. So I don't think it's going to be too much necessary. Not to mention Haven now being Haven and Blast Shields together. That will also allow me to not take that much damage from the Fire Strike, because that was supposed to be Blast Shields, okay? Either way, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Until then, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye. I'll see you guys on PDS. Bye.